everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and we are still with our EndyMed Pro. This time we are using two hand pieces around the delicate area of the eye to rejuvenate, lift and reduce fine lines and wrinkles. So Rihanna is our patient. She is busy doing something called eye fine on her. That's the RF tech without any fractional ablation, but afterwards she's also going to use FSR, which is the ablative, which is like an ablative tip. So Rihanna's getting like a double rejuvenation. So and Rihanna's been a star patient. It is a bit red around the area, which is natural and which is normal. It does heat up the tissue, and again, because it's the delicate eye area, between 38 and I'd say like 41 degrees. If the patient can tolerate it, up to 42, but because it's the eye area, most people can go up to 40 degrees. So very, very exciting. And then in terms of results, so at 2 weeks, yes, it looks great, but 3 months, that's when you see the real results of the treatment. And how often do you do it? It depends on how many lines you have, the skin quality in the area, what other treatments you do, but between 3 and 6 treatments should be sufficient, spaced 4 weeks apart. Okay, guys, so Sheetle's going to carry on with the eye fine as well as the FSR.
We've done the right eye with the eye fine, and now Farika is going to be doing the FSR handpiece. So she was just telling Rana what she's going to hear. It's like a sort of a robotic Terminator 2 sort of noise that you hear, and she counts the patient down 1, 2, 3, and then it's like a waffle iron stamp for rejuvenation. So we're gonna have a look at how it's done now, and we're gonna start with the lids because that's the most sensitive area. We like to get the most sensitive areas out of the way first.
1, 2, 3. Here we go. Can I carry on? Doing really great. So that's the first row finished already. I'm going to the lid immediately. And you can smell that ablation very clearly as well.
So when Farika says you can smell the ablation, she means the burnt
Can you smell
human flesh smell. So it just smells a bit like burnt, you know, but nothing dangerous, all very safe and very rejuvenating. I actually had this done on my nose. And it's also really nice for acne scarring. You do look a bit scared the previous, not the previous day, the next day you look a bit scared, but otherwise afterwards there's no problem. You're safe to wear makeup the day after as well.
1, 2, 3.
So, and I can be honest, will you do this again? Definitely.
See results, obviously, Dr. Bond. It wasn't so bad.
Okay, great. What Farika is saying is that she's going to go over a double pass, so she's going to go over twice, and in the area of fine lines and wrinkles, so the area where there's some dynamic lines, some where you do botulinum toxin for crow's feet, but also Rihanna prefers like a more natural appearance, so we often don't do botulinum toxin in the crow's feet, which has a nice natural smile, a smile with your eyes. So this is a nice alternative to rejuvenate the area without looking unnatural. And just a quick note, so we're doing it around the eye, very sensitive area, usually especially in patients of color, very prone to PRH, post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, or it's already got hyperpigmentation, and that's why we're using radio frequency for that reduced risk, especially this tech, 3D Deep. And the other thing is Rihanna is really good with her skincare. She uses really active cleansers, brightening products, and we've also been you've been prepping for this with a nighttime brightening product. So it's really important that what you use before as well as after enhances the results.
So with the FSR, it does create a little grid pattern that might appear the next day, or it might appear the day after, and then maybe from day 3 to 4 it starts to peel off. And what Farika was just mentioning to us on the side here was that it depends on how prepped your skin was. So I really wouldn't like to do this on someone who's not actually prepped it despite your skin type, because this treatment has to make a difference to you. So what you use at home and all of that enhances the treatment. And if you do a treatment, you just come in, yes, maybe it's safe for your skin, but what kind of result will you get? And it's not part of their protocols, but we do it, but we also pre-assess the patient. It depends how prepped they are, depends who they are, and how disciplined they are. I also, a week after my treatment, had a very superficial chemical peel because I could not handle all those little bits coming off. My skin was really good and healthy underneath. It was a new pink skin, but don't go pulling these things off. Don't scrape them off. You'll get scarring. If you have any questions, and if any of your providers are doing any of these sort of treatments, instead of like doing home care things, the best thing is to call them up or go in for a visit. So what we're doing here is something called an ND Blef, but a little bit of a upgrade on that. So this is the eye fine handpiece. There's no needles, but this is like a radio frequency plate. So we go around the eye area with this. We've done, well, Farika's already done 3 passes. This is an infrared thermometer, so we can measure the temperature. And it shouldn't be like in the dermis, the temperature in the dermis, and it shouldn't be below 38, and it shouldn't be above 42. But because it's like the delicate eye area, I wouldn't go above 40. We're going to do another set of eye fine around the eye, and then do something called FSR, the surface ablation using radio frequency. So it's almost like a waffle stamp. I don't know if there are things like a waffle iron, and that's like a surface, like you get these little dots, so that creates even more contraction and more rejuvenation. So this handpiece called the eye fine, the depth it goes to is 3 millimeters, because it's used around the sensitive skin. But the contour, which is, I call it like the big mama treatment, that goes to 26 millimeters, because it tightens and reduces centimeters very, very deeply. It's used on deep adipose tissue. So this is also a very sensitive area. Rihanna, how does it feel? Okay? Okay.
Just a bit warm, but it's fine.
Warm as in you can handle warm, or like, please stop now?
No, I can handle it.
Okay. Okay. And then above?
Yeah. So it's below, in the middle, and on top.
This is like an arm and shoulder workout. This combined with Sculptra, I don't know, I think we'll reach our 10,000 steps a day.
So after this, Rihanna's going to go do an aerial yoga class. It's fine, actually it's fine. So But I would say obviously no super hot shower, no saunas, straight after. No ice and no anti-inflammatory tablets. For around the eye area, Rana, if you're going somewhere tomorrow, you can put a label. And you just have to be really good with your sunscreen. So Rihanna, you are also prone to general puffiness around the eye area. So when you have a treatment like this done, similar to filler, you can sleep a little bit elevated. Okay. And if you don't, it's okay. You'll just look like you're crying.
Yeah.
It'll just so maybe a bit of lymph drainage in the morning. Okay. Or a nice. I said no ice straight after. So no ice straight after. But if you a bit puffy tomorrow, you can put some really clean spoons in the fridge or freezer before you put them onto your eye. You just sanitize them because they fit really well. This helps with the sweating.
Thanks guys for joining us once again with our second EndyMed video. So today we did something a little different, and Rihanna's also been really amazing as a patient. So we've done 2 treatments around our eyes called iFine. It super heats up the area to cause contraction as well as collagen stimulation, and something called FSR, which is a surface ablation treatment using radio frequency to further tighten the area. So it's called EndyBlef. So it doesn't replace a surgical blepharoplasty, especially if you have like a functional need for it, or if you barely can see out because your lids are down here. But it's an excellent treatment for someone that is looking after their skin, like Rihanna, who's pretty young, who wants to do some preventative as well as like minor treatments. And we also did some RF fractional like what RF let me name radio frequency. And then we also did some RF microneedling on Rihanna's tummy area, just for tightening as well as to reduce scarring and restore elasticity. So it's really nice that we can combine so many different hand pieces in one day on one patient. If you guys have any questions about the treatments that we're doing, please drop them in the comments down below, like and share. Bye.